Hello, this is Gareth Davies calling you from Auckland in New Zealand. And I have with me John.
Hi, Gareth.
How's it
It's
going?
me, John from Gisborne.
That's right. John's in sunny Gisborne. I'm in sunny Auckland. And John has got a wonderful story to tell you. John, tell us.
Yeah, thanks, Gareth. Yeah, this story started in October of 2012. I was using my 41 centimeter telescope, a reflecting telescope, to do astrometry of a known asteroid. And sure enough, I picked up the asteroid when I was running it through a program called Astrometrica. What you do is you stack a number of images together to get three main images. Then you stack those images, you then blink those images, and you can see the asteroid moving between image to image to image. You click on the image, and then that will give you the right ascension and declination in the sky, basically the longitude and latitude in the sky, and the time, and the brightness, and then you send that observation overseas. Now, as I was doing that blinking, I noticed a tiny little faint dot moving through the sky, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I tried to do astrometry on that, and it came up as no known object. So I went through quite a few steps and hoops and so on to try and see if it was a known asteroid or comet, and nothing came up. So I then got in touch with Alan Gilmore and Pam Kilmartin of Mount John Observatory in New Zealand, in Tekapo. And they also said that they couldn't identify it as a known object. So I was getting quite excited at that stage, and then sent the observations off to the Minor Planet Center, and I didn't hear anything official, but just assumed that, yep, I discovered an asteroid. And then about 2 years later, much to my dismay, I found that the Catalina Sky Survey in the United States actually saw the asteroid one night before me. So they were the discoverers of that asteroid.
So, John, can I just stop you there for 1 second? So
sure.
this was 2012,
Mm-hmm.
and you spotted what you thought to be an asteroid. You sent it off to the Minor Planet Center. And where is the Minor Planet Center?
There's in Massachusetts in the United States.
Okay, so you sent it off. Did they acknowledge it and say, there we go, thank you, John, we'll get back to you?
No, because there was no official reply, I wasn't exactly sure if I discovered it or not. I thought at that stage that you had to get 3 orbits of the objects, 3 orbits of observations to actually confirm and then get your confirmation. So the plan was to continue observing this object for 3 orbits, and then it might be officially recognized as my asteroid. But no, it was a few years later that I realized that somebody told me that the Catalina Sky Survey had actually pipped me by one night.
So John, you observed it 3 times, yeah? You followed all the protocol, yes?
Yeah, I was starting the protocol. I observed it once, and then about a year later or so, I sent in more observations, because this asteroid is quite faint. It can only be, for my telescopes, can only be picked up at a certain time of the year, when it's closest to the Earth, as the Sun, Earth, and asteroid are basically in a line of sight at opposition. So yeah, I was trying to get more observations to confirm its identity and so on, and then hopefully get the confirmation email, but no, Catalina picked it up. So I got in touch with Robert Seaman of the Catalina Sky Survey and said, "Oh, Robert, it's very disappointing. I'm really gutted. I thought I discovered an asteroid, and see that you guys at the Catalina Sky Survey picked it up one night before me." And I said I was going to name it Possum after my late wife. Her nickname was Possum. Her real name is Elizabeth, but I used to call her Possum. And my observatory is also called Possum Observatory, in honor of my wife. And Robert got in touch with the Minor the International Astronomical Union and asked if the asteroid that they discovered, because they have naming rights, if that asteroid could be called Possum. And it took the IAU, a fair couple of years to go through the whole process, because they have a lot of things to do. But yeah, I got an email just recently in the last week saying that yes, the asteroid has now officially been called Possum. So,
But
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, they didn't actually write you and tell you this. You actually spotted the name Possum. Is that right?
I did. I was actually happened to be just on the website, and I saw a list of asteroids by name, and I thought, oh, that'll be interesting. I'll just check if Possum is actually on there now, and scrolled down into the P section, and there was Possum. So I got in touch with Robert and said, yeah, has it been confirmed? Is that my Possum? And he said, he got back and he said, yes, that is the asteroid that you nearly discovered one night out, named after your wife. In fact, I've got the citation here, if you don't mind me reading it, Gareth.
Yeah, of course. It'd be wonderful.
Okay. So I'll just, it's slightly small print, but it says, so the International Astronomical Union on their confirmation on their page for Possum, the asteroid Possum, says 507490, that's the asteroid number, 507490 Possum, discovered at Catalina on 2012, October 9, by the Catalina Sky Survey. Possum equals 2012 UZ28, which was the unofficial name of the asteroid. Possum Observatory, Gisborne. This is what they named it Possum. The asteroid is called Possum because Possum Observatory, Gisborne, New Zealand, regularly conducts and submits astrometric observations of comets, asteroids, and near-Earth objects. In addition, Possum Observatory has helped detect exoplanets using microlensing. The observatory is named after the owner, John Drummond's late wife, Elizabeth Possum Drummond. Refer Minor Planet Circular 127257. So that's it. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Did you go out and have a glass of champagne?
No. I should. I'll wait until I see you in the line again, Gareth, and we'll have a second class then.
But it must have been a huge buzz for you.
It was, yeah, that's right. It's really neat to actually think that an asteroid out there is now named Possum. After my wife and the observatory that I run.
If I can tell our listeners and viewers the story that my wife had always told me, that John had discovered an asteroid and had an asteroid named after him. And one day we were traveling on Great Barrier Island as part of our dark sky endeavors there, to train up locals to become dark sky ambassadors. And I think on the line, he asked the question of John, so whatever happened with that naming? And then John, looking very down, sad, said, oh, I was pipped to the post by Catalina Sky Survey. One day, that was all it was. So there you go. And there's no chance now, because there's so many satellites out there and observatories and people just scooping them up like fish out of the sea. And so for the individual these days to spot an asteroid, very little chance, and we all felt suitably sad. And that was probably back in 2017. And now 4 years later, you just scroll through and there you find Possum. Hardly a massive unveiling by the IAU. Maybe they need to check their systems. Just as well as not sending out pensions, we would all be in trouble. So, well, I would anyway. So amazing stuff, John.
Yeah.
Dream come true.
Yeah, that's right. And Possum, for those who are interested, Possum is a main belt asteroid, so it's between Mars and Jupiter. It's one of those, there's a big ring of asteroids out there between Mars and Jupiter. So it's a main belt asteroid, and it takes 4.66 years to go around the sun once. And the average distance to it is from the sun is 420 million kilometers. So I'm not sure of the size. It's probably only about a kilometer or something, you know, in diameter. But yeah, that rock out there, it's named Possum. So, and
when is it due back? When is it coming back?
I looked on. I looked online recently, and it's in Aquarius. Possum was in Aquarius, and it's magnitude 22 at the moment. So with my telescopes, I can get down to, on a good night, no moon and clear sky, you know, good seeing and transparency, down to about magnitude 21. So this magnitude 22 is 2.5 times fainter. So I'll have to wait until the two line up again, and I might see it, you know, maybe in a year or something.
So John, just giving a plug for my little Unistellar EV Scope NZ group, it's led the asteroid monitoring, observing, is led by a guy called Michael Camilleri, and he works with the people at SETI and the people at Unistellar, and he regularly sends us information about asteroids coming through. And then all of us in New Zealand who have EV scopes, we rush out and try and observe them from different angles, and we can follow their flight path and everything. Now, my question to you is, would asteroid Possum be viewable at some point through our EV scopes?
Yeah, so when I discovered it, for those who can't see, I just used inverted quotation marks. It was magnitude 19.5. So Gareth, if you went to a dark sky when Possum is closest to the Earth again, you might be able to see it. It'd be interesting to see what magnitude you can get down to with the EV scopes from a dark side.
Okay, well, I'll have a word with Michael Camilleri, and I'll get him to talk with SETI and see, and Frank at SETI, and see whether they can put it on the list for us to have a look out for. I'm not sure whether we can. I know the EV scope's a wonderful piece of equipment. I'm not sure it can spot 19.6. We'll have to see, though. Anyway, so in terms, and you say a year, it'll be back in a year. Is that right? A year
yeah. I must actually have a very good, close, detailed look and sort of determine when it will be. But yeah, so because it's doing a circular orbit around the sun in the asteroid belt, once a year the Earth will come in between the sun and the asteroid will be, you know, slightly brighter than normal. So yeah, so probably within the next little while, next year or something, if that, it might be observable again from moderately sized telescopes or an EV scope.
So, so John, of course, extinction events are invariably caused by asteroids. Any chance that Possum might?
No,
that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Probably the only chance would be that another asteroid comes along and knocks Possum out of its orbit and sends it hurtling towards Earth. But considering that the average distance between asteroids out in the asteroid belt is about 1 million kilometers, you know, there's little chance of that. You know, on Star Wars, you see them hooning around an asteroid belt, and there's literally thousands of asteroids sitting around them, and they're dodging them left and right and everything. Now, the average distance between asteroids out there in our asteroid belt is about 1 million kilometers between each asteroid.
But what an amazing story that would be. I can see you all standing on the beach now at Gisborne, you know, with a bright light in the sky, getting closer and closer. It would make what to say?
Yeah, no, I'll get my swimming pool net out there and try and catch it as it falls.
Yeah, near Earth object, say no more. This is, you know, I think this is definitely a target for SETI. There's something tells me we need to look out for asteroid Possum going forward.
Yeah.
So was I right to say that that places like Catalina and the satellites out there now are scooping them all up? The chances in the future, should we all be rushing out to try and find something, or is it just too late now?
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder, and now the Large Synoptic Survey telescope in Chile is going to be coming online, and they're going to be searching the sky, the whole southern sky, every like 3 or 4 days or nights or whatever it is. So just scooping up everything. And there's a lot of other surveys out there. So for an individual to discover a comet or an asteroid, it's it's pretty much
spoil sports, don't you think? It's like trawlers,
yeah
taking all the fish in the Hauraki Gulf and leaving nothing for the recreational fishermen.
That's exactly it.
And by the way, Catalina, what is the Catalina Sky Survey? Is this some university link, or is it something that NASA set up?
Oh gee, you've got me there, Gareth. It is certainly an official observatory run telescope, and in the United States. There's been a few over the years: the linear Lincoln near Earth asteroid survey, the Pan-STARRS, Catalina, and yeah, there's a few of them, often linked to universities or major telescopes, and they're just slowing through the sky, taking photos, and then they blink the images and look for the moving dots, and yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. That's what we call progress.
Yeah.
The good news is. The bad news is that amateurs like yourself can't spot them anymore. The good news is they won't creep up on us and extinct everything.
Yeah.
Whatever the verb is, extinctionize everything. So a plus and the negative. But there you go, John. Well, thanks for telling the story. That is really sort of like quite moving. Certainly when I heard the news, I was imagining cracking open the champagne as you often do. So maybe yes, indeed, I'll come down sometime and we'll raise a glass to you and to Elizabeth and to Possum lurking out there, waiting to home in on Gisborne at some future as yet to be determined date.
Yeah, that's right. I must admit, her family was pretty touched that it was named after Elizabeth. Elizabeth, my wife, she was a lovely lady, very beautiful person, very caring person, and she passed away 29 years ago from cancer. So yeah, so there's Possum. She's just an amazing person.
Good to know that she's circling around a gazillion miles from us. But always in our memory. Thanks, John.
Okay.
Good talk, mate. Take good care.
All right. Thanks, Gareth. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take me to Callisto so I can see the stars. I want to view the Milky Way from a terraform base on Mars. From a terraform base on Mars. From a terraform base on Mars.